All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to finish off the American Horror Project Volume 2 by watching something called The Child. Let's check it out. Okay, the movie starts with a little girl. She's in a cemetery. Her mother's buried in the cemetery, and she has a kitten with her. And watch this. That's a clawed hand, who now has the kitten. I'm guessing that's not good news for the kitten. All right, here's a woman who was driving, and she got stuck. I believe her name is Alicia Ann. And she's starting a job as a nanny for the little girl we saw, or a housekeeper. And this was her first day, and she's stuck. She meets an old woman. I think Mrs. Whitefield is her name.
Nordens, huh? Well, you must be a relative. The Nordens never have any visitors except family.
No, actually, I'm going to work for them. I'm going to take care of Rosalie Norden.
Well, Rosalie Norden used to play tricks on a lot of my boarders. I think she was trying to scare them off. Oh, I know it sounds as if I've got a thing about Rosalie Norden, but it's true.
What sort of tricks?
Anyway, she decides to walk to the Norton house through the woods, and she suddenly comes across a bunch of dead animals. And there's that kitten. Now watch closely. Can you see the hand? And the face? Anyway, she eventually gets there.
Alicia and Delmar, I'm Joshua Norden. You're late.
Oh, Mr. Norden, you startled me. I saw someone wandering around that old cemetery.
And she meets Rosalie.
Who are you? You certainly surprised me. I'm Alicia, your new friend. But if you'd like, you can call me Lise.
Mrs. Whiteside hears her dog yelping in the night. Got loose. We see a flashback to Rosalie's mother's funeral.
Have you seen Rambler today, Mr. Norden?
Rambler, your dog?
Yes. Have you seen him?
No, how would I see him? You keep him tied up at home all the time, don't you?
He got away. Some of the folks and I are out looking for him.
Time alone.
This is Rosalie's brother,
She used to read books
Len.
about the
I think he
mind.
has a thing for Alicia Ann.
She said the mind was a secret world. A place nobody had explored yet.
Strange things are afoot at the Whitfield house. She wanders outside and finds Rosalie.
Good evening, Mrs. Whitfield. I brought my friends with me tonight, Mrs. Whitfield.
That's
No.
creepy. Well, she runs back into her house, and then this happens. Alicia Ann finds a bunch of weird drawings in Rosalie's room, including one that looks like Mrs. Whitfield getting grabbed.
No!
Now, this is a tramp who lives in the woods who
You
allegedly
killed my mother.
was one of the people who killed her mother.
Be killed. Mama crazy! Mama crazy!
I don't have to tell you anything.
Who is in the cemetery?
You'll find out. They're going to come and hurt you both. Hurt you bad.
Rosalie, come back.
Well, our good buddy Len discovers the body in the woods in that shack.
Go find out if Rosalie's at the house.
But then can I...
Just go. I'll be there.
Back at the house, she finds Rosalie's dad, or what's left of him. So Len and Alicia Ann decide to leave. But as luck would have it, and then we get our reveal finally. There's more than one of them, whatever the hell they are. Discovers that the horn works, though. They don't like the noise.
But the horn! It's working.
Well, they run to this shed so they can hide, or at least be safe, and they have to fight their way into it. But eventually they start to break in. Then Len gets pulled into the floor. And he's gone. Or is he? Yeah, he's gone. Well, Alicia Ann has an axe now. She hears somebody breaking in. Oh, she got Rosalie. And that's the end of her. Alicia Ann manages to stumble outside. And that's how our movie ends. All right, let's talk about The Child. You know, this is the third movie on this American Horror Project, Volume 2, put out by Arrow, and this was the one I was mostly looking forward to, so I saved the best for last. That was my intention anyway, and you know what? I think I did it right. This movie is pretty darn cool, actually. Came out in 1977. It's a virtual cast of nobody. I don't know who these filmmakers are, but it shows what you can do with a budget of $30,000, which allegedly is what the budget was. That's what or Wikipedia says anyway. But anyway, we have a movie here. This woman is going out to become a housekeeper / nanny for this, I think, like 11-year-old girl named Rosalie. And she gets there, and Rosalie is kind of a weird kid. She, I don't want to say she's like demon child, because she's not really a demon. She's just, she seems to engage with creatures. And when I say creatures, I mean zombies. There's these weird zombie humanoid type things that live in the woods. And she calls them her friends, although we don't really know that at the beginning of the movie, but a few people get killed by these things. We only see their like clawed hands, a very, very brief look at a face maybe. And the opening scene in the movie, she gives a kitten to one of these things, and we see a dead kitten later on, so presumably they did whatever they do to it. Rosalie's got a chip on her shoulder because her mother was killed a few years earlier, and there's some tramps living in the woods or something like that, and she thinks one of these guys did it, and apparently they did. And she has her friends, I guess, kill one of the tramps. We see a shotgun blast go off. We don't see who's shooting the gun, though, but we hear her saying, you know, you killed my mother. And then there's this lady who lives close by, Mrs. Whitfield, and at one point Rosalie shows up at her house and says, my friends want to meet you, you know? Very creepy-like. And of course, next thing you know, Miss Whitfield is dead. Something grabs her foot and then rips open her face or something like that. Ultimately, the babysitter, or the father gets killed too by one of these creatures. Ultimately, the babysitter and Rosalie's older brother, Len, they're kind of coupling up a little bit. They get chased by these creatures. So they hop in they find the body first. They hop in their car, get away, but they crash. The car like pulls over on the side of the road, and the next thing you know, they're attacked by these creatures. And we finally get a look at them. They're just all grayish. They look like they look like ashes. Like their face has just been, their whole bodies has just been burnt or something. I don't know, but they're just weirdly weird looking things. They run off and lock themselves in a shed, but the creatures get in and kill Len. Somehow she escapes, Alicia Ann, and she's back. I don't know if she's at the house or if she's in another part of the shed, but Rosalie came in and she hit Rosalie with an axe. I don't think she realized who it was at first, but Rosalie then falls over and dies. And then the last scene is Alicia Ann outside by the car, and the movie ends. There you go. Anyway, this was a really cool movie. Creepy vibe throughout the film. I just love movies like this that are well done, and they're just kind of forgotten, lost films that a lot of people have never heard of. So thank you to Arrow for resurrecting this one and putting it out there on this thing. I don't think this has been released on DVD in any way, shape, or form prior to this. DVD Blu-ray, I should say. I think this was actually released on VHS, though, although I never saw it in any of those stores that I ever frequented. But anyway, yeah, I really dig this film. It's a good one. It's definitely the best on this American Horror Project Volume 2. And you should definitely check this one out. I know I say that about every movie. Check it out. I really mean it with this one. So check it out. I'll leave a link down below if you want to buy this box set, which you better buy these box sets quick. They're getting up in price. This one's about 60, 70 bucks right now as I record this. So click that link now and buy it before it disappears. You won't be disappointed. Check it out. Leave some comments. It's The Child. Watch it. Bye.